Okay, so like I said, we are going to start unit 4 today. This is our last unit and it's our shortest unit. I'll share my screen in a second. I actually just have to, I'm going to download the PDF to my computer. Here we go. That way I can actually write on it. All right, give me 1 second here. Okay, perfect. So here is chapter 4, not a very interesting cover page here, but it's basically business mathematics. So this is a course I've taught for the School of Business, like an entire course. For you guys, there's only one little chapter. And again, this is our last and final chapter. So like I mentioned earlier, before I hit record, today and tomorrow we'll do little bits of chapter 4. Thursday's class in the morning we'll have review, and your final test, well, you're not your final exam, but your test, test number 2, will be on Sunday. So unit 4, business math for marketing. Well, the first thing most business students do is a little bit of statistics. And I don't know if you guys have done any statistics yet at the college. I think it might be 1760, or I'm not sure of the number, but there's entire courses on just statistics. We're going to keep it pretty simple. This is probably some stuff that you guys did in high school, maybe even before high school. So this is mean, or we're going to look at the mean, median, and mode. So measures of central tendency is what they call it. It says here, oops, let me get my pen going. It asks here the question, what could be used to represent the central value? So not necessarily the middle, but you hear the word average value of a certain data set. So we're going to look at the 3 kind of classic ones, mean, median, and mode, which you've probably heard of before. My pen isn't working today. Let's see. There we go. So mean is kind of like the classic one that you've heard about all the time, like your average. So when you think of your mark at the college, your overall grade, for example, that's kind of like the mean. It's at the college we use what's called a weighted average, but it's still the same kind of concept here, where we're going to add up a group of numbers and then divide them by the number of numbers in that set. So the formula here has an interesting symbol, which you guys might not be familiar with. This is a big sigma, which means sum. Oh man, what's up with my pen? Sorry, let me try that again. Yeah, maybe I need to restart my computer or something. But sum. So sum means you add up all of the numbers in the data set, and n means you divide them by the number of numbers. So sum, by the way, means add. I'll just say sum of data, and then the number of numbers. Something's going on here. Something really strange is happening with my pen, which isn't good, but at least I don't have to write a lot today. Okay, so example number 1. We have 6 employees in a small business. Their ages are 23, 25, 52, 46, 28, and 33. It says, what would be the mean or average age? So this is pretty straightforward. We add up all of their ages. So we take the sum of all of their ages, and then we divide it by the number of people, the number of numbers in the data set. So we have, I know it says 6 employees here, but if it didn't say that, you could count the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we add up all those numbers, divide by 6. Now, one thing I'll mention, a very common mistake that people do on their calculators is they add up all of these numbers and then go on the calculator like this, or well, sorry, I guess it would be 6. Be careful. Make sure if you're doing this on a calculator, you either use brackets or you calculate the top first. I wonder, you know what I think it is, guys? Yeah, my pen is dead. I need to put a new battery in it. Okay. So I figured out the problem. I have a battery, so I'll switch it out after example number 2, and then I'll get you guys to practice. Or I guess maybe I'll do example 2 and 3, and then you guys can practice. So a sample of ages was taken from students in class. So there's only 3 samples here. Find the mean of the sample. So 23, I don't care about the X. 23, 25, 36. So add them up, divide by 3, 28. Easy. Oh, and one thing I'll mention too, guys, is the mean should be in between your data. What I mean is if you look at the highest number and you look at the lowest number, the mean has to be in the middle. And that kind of goes for everything. Median should be kind of central. Mode should still be in between the data set. And we'll talk about those two today as well. So like what I'm saying is, imagine if you were calculating the average of your assignments. So we have 3 assignments. Let's say you've done all 3 of them and you got a 90, an 80, and a 85. Your average of those assignments. So again, just imagine you did 3 assignments, you got an 80, 85, and 90. The answer has to be between 80 and 90. You wouldn't get less than an 80 and you wouldn't get more than a 90. So kind of keep that in mind when you're doing these problems. Like for this, my number can't be bigger than 67 and it can't be lower than 22. So the mean here, oh, I'll have my pen fixed after this. I think I know where a battery is. They take like special batteries. So 20, oh, this is gonna be bad. 25 plus 67 plus 43 plus 34 plus 22 divided by, now how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. I do this on my calculator. So give me a second to put these numbers in. So I get 38.2, which a decimal is fine. Oops. I forgot I can't erase if I don't have my battery. Okay. There we go. All right. So what I would like now, you guys, you don't have to try, well, hold on. How many are there? Just give me 1 second here. I'll see how many there are. Why is this scrolling so slow? I'm having computer problems today. It's just scrolling really slow. Anyways, okay. So you guys just take a minute or two. I'll see if I can get a new battery. Try these. So try these, and I'll be back in a minute, of course, as usual. We'll check out your answers. All right, I'll be right back, hopefully with a new battery. All right, I'm getting lots of answers here. I think you guys will like this chapter a little bit better than the other chapters. Okay, hold on now. I think my pen is working. Okay, it is working, but the erase isn't, but that's all right. Okay, so let me clear my writing here and we'll look at the answers to these, okay? So, and actually, let me just do one quick thing. Um, okay, hold on. Okay, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Let's look at the answer to this. I'll share my screen again, of course. It's too early to be really worried about this, but my only problem is the eraser isn't working anymore, but I'll figure it out after class. Okay, so for number A, you add up all of the numbers on the top, which I'm not going to do. Like, I'm not going to rewrite them all, but then we would divide them by 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and you would get that answer. What do people say in the chat? People are saying 97.5. That looks good. Okay, what about in B? You would add up all these together. You would divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For C, you would add all these up together and you would divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. And you would get your answers. So what I'll do really quickly is just add these all up and make sure that my answers match your answers. Just give me 1 second here. All right, so for this one, I get 12.9 or 12 point, you could say 8 or 875, 12.9, whatever you want. For C, I got 10,600. What did you guys get for C? Yeah, okay, same as me. Cool. All right, let's look at the next one. Median. The median is the middle value of an ordered data set. Okay, so what that means is it's the middle number, but the data set has to be ordered. And what that means is put in order from, it could be ascending or descending, meaning smallest to biggest, biggest to smallest. Ascending would be smallest number to biggest. Descending would be biggest to smallest. When we do this, like in math, typically, we would go smallest to biggest. Now, if you have an odd number of data values, and what that means is you're going to have an even number on each side, it's actually pretty easy. It's the middle value. So the median here, like what you could do is you could almost cancel off numbers on the end. So 319, 518, 817. The middle value is 12. There's 3 numbers on each side. That's really easy. But if you have an even number of data points, you need to take the average, the mean of the middle 2 values, because you're trying to find the number in between, like in exactly the middle. So if you look at example number 5, first thing for example number 5, the numbers are not in order. It's really, really important for your numbers to be in order. So we put them in order, smallest to biggest is what I typically do. So 3, 5, 8, 12. Now, the problem here, if I cancel off, so 3, 21, 5, 19, I'm not canceling. I'm just basically like, um, trying to identify what numbers are in the middle. The problem here is 12 and 17 are in the middle, and I'm trying to find the number in between them. So the way you do that mathematically is find the average or the mean. So 12 plus 17 divided by 2, my median here would be 14.5. And this is okay. What I mean is sometimes students are like, oh, well, the number isn't in the number set. So how can it be the answer? I know that's a bit confusing, but it is the answer. The median doesn't need to be in the set. I guess neither does the mean. Okay. There's no examples of that. Okay. Anyways, that's a pretty easy one. I think, oh yeah, look, if you look at example number 6, it says find the mode and median. So we will do a little bit more practice of it. Okay. So the mode, or sometimes people call it modal, is the most commonly occurring value. So there's no calculation for mode. In mean, you might have to do it, or you will have to do a calculation. In median, sometimes you have to do a calculation. In mode, you never do. For mode, you identify the data set that appears the most in the data. You can have, and I'm really sad about my pen, guys. You can have, more than one mode. Oh my. So you can have more than one. So the reason this is useful is you can, like, for statistics, you can look at things like what is the most common car color in Qatar. So I find it's changing now, but typically cars are white or beige. When I first got here 8 years ago, it said, what would be the most common car? I don't know. It'd be like a Nissan Sunny or a Land Cruiser. But I find it's changing now. There's a lot more different cars on the road 9 years later. So what is the most common four-wheel drive? 8 years ago, Land Cruiser. It probably still is, but it's getting a little more diverse now. So, in medical industry, it might be what's the most common medicine for pain relief? What's the most common ointment used for a certain type of rash? I don't know. You'll kind of get to see where this applies to pharmacy later, because a lot of this is just about the business side of it. So, percent increase, percent decrease, things like money you'll kind of see a use for this. And it is a very short chapter too. So we should be done easily by next week so we can do a review. So let's look at example number 6. Now, you don't have to do this for the mode, but it is helpful to sort the list. Like, first thing I recommend if you get a question like this is put the list in order. Okay, first thing, put it in order. So I put the list in, I'm an ascending order type of person, and let's see which number appears the most. So, okay, I have 2 4s. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 12s. So it looks like since I have 12 4 times, that's going to be my mode. And we just write it down once. We don't do a calculation. I don't, add them together. I don't find the average. I just write the number that appears the most. Now the median. Okay, so let's see. 2, 15. I'm just going to kind of count my way into the middle. Again, you don't have to do it this way. I just find this is, like, for my brain, the easiest way to see. And we have 2 numbers in the middle here. Now they're both 12. So if I calculated the average of 12 plus 12 over 2, it's 12. Oh my gosh. There we go. So my median, my mode and median is 12. That's normal. That's okay, I mean. Okay, so maybe I'll get you guys to try B and C. Yes, okay, perfect. So I want you guys to try these. I want you to find the mean, not mean, you don't have to do the mean, we already did that. I want you to find the median, and I want you to find the mode. Okay? And then I'll be back in a few minutes for that. This, again, I'm excited. I like this chapter, so I think you guys will like this. This is a lot easier than some of the stuff in chapter 3. We kind of end this course with pretty straightforward stuff. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Put your answers in the chat, and we'll see how you did. Getting lots of good answers in there for B. I'll give you guys another minute or two to try C. Some of you, like I think calcium and maybe that, yeah, calcium has done C, but I'll give everybody else another minute or two. All right, looking good, everybody. I did a little quick research. I think I'm not gonna do it for you guys because we're almost done anyways. I'm gonna introduce graphs, but I think to get my pen to work, I need to restart my computer. It's working in every app except for Adobe. So anyways, it's not a big deal. So for question number B, let's look at the answers now. For question number B, or letter B. The only problem with this is we need to put it in order. Now, I I always struggle with this trying to explain or teach and write at the same time. So guys, if I miss a number, let me know. So my lowest number is 2. So 2, and this is going to be really bad without my pen working. And then I have another 2. Okay, and then I have 1, 2, I have 2 3s. Okay, now my 4s, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 4s. This is painful. Okay, now how many 5s? 1, 2, 3 5s. Okay, and then I have 1 6 and 1 7. Now, what I like to do when I rewrite it, and this is really important, well, for me, it's really important anyways, is I count the numbers to make sure I didn't miss any. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 numbers. So very important that you make sure you get all the numbers. Now, let's change my color here. Let's go red. So my mode, let's do the mode first, is 4. My median is, so I'll kind of cross off my numbers, work my way into the middle. 4. All right, is that what you guys got? 4 and 4? I thought I saw some 6s in there, but that might have been for something else. So a lot of people for question B said that the median was 6. Remember, guys, the number set has to be in order. So if you said 6 for your median, you are not correct. You have to put the numbers in order. Okay, is that clear for everybody? The only reason I'm stressing that is because there's no more practice problems. So I want to make sure everybody knows that you have to put them in order. Okay, cool. All right, so number 2, or sorry, C. C is in order, which is awesome. So my mode for C is 3 and 6. You can have 2, right? You know, I mean, think about it. If we said what was like, I'm just trying to think of an example. So like what is the most popular food item at Tim Hortons? And when you looked at the data, every day they sold 500 coffees, and every day they sold 500 donuts. If they're the same, then you can have 2. You are allowed to have 2 modes. It doesn't mean anything other than there are 2 items that are the most popular in your data set, So, what's the most popular item at Carrefour? And the number of chicken sold is equal to the number of milk sold. So, if they're equal, that's fine. You can have 2. You do not calculate them. The middle number, okay, so I'm just crossing my way down to the middle. Oh, you guys had easy ones. Median is 4. I don't know. Okay, cool. So my other class, not you guys, or not 1730, but I teach 1700. They have a test today, and we're going to have a little review at 9:30. And I really got to make sure my pen works before that. Okay, I'm pretty much done for today. Guys, I was just looking through chapter 4 where we can easily get this done in a couple classes. So between tomorrow and then probably Monday, we can get most of this done. Monday, maybe Tuesday. So that'll leave us good time for review for the final. So with that said, it is only 8:42. I'd like to just take 10 more minutes and maybe just do graphs. Sorry, line graphs. Um, I won't get into um, pie charts until tomorrow. Yeah. So just two more pages. And again, this will be really quick. This is a really quick chapter anyways. Okay. This might be, out of all of the subjects in all of the math courses, this might be my favorite. I really really like graphs. I like making them. I like reading them. What I mean is I don't like to sit home on a Friday night and read graphs. But if someone is going to give me information, I would prefer it on a graph or like an infographic, if you know what those are, versus just text or like on a table. I'm kind of like a visual, I guess, learner or visual reader. So, I'd take like a comic book over a regular book. I would certainly take, I hope you know what I mean by an infographic, but it's kind of like a very illustrated way of representing data. So, and I like my data on graphs. I find them just such a convenient way to summarize information. It's easy to read, easy to look at, but it's amazing how some people can't read a graph or look at a graph. But when you're doing things like you're looking at bank statements or the stock market, everybody's talking about stocks these days because everybody's in quarantine or working from home and people are investing all the time. It's always given as a graph. And it's really important to know how to read a graph, especially the scale of a graph. Some graphs, and this kind of ties into the concept of, I hate saying this, but fake news. Not being able to read a graph or not understanding a graph can really lead to misinformation. So, knowing how to read a graph is good for your personal life, but it's also good for kind of, um, you know, understanding if something is misleading. Um, like, okay, like look at this example, number 7. We have John's weight here. Okay, so this is a guy's weight in kilograms. Now, you might think, like looking at the graph from 1991. Hold on. Okay. You know what I can do? I'll do this. I'll go old school. So from 1991 to, let's say, 1993, the graph looks like he gained a lot of weight. It's a very steep increase. But if you look at the scale, he's only went, well, I say only, it's still a bit of weight, but 68 to 74. But the graph makes it look like his weight increased very, very quickly between 1991 and 1993. But it went from 68 to 74 because the scale of this is shortened. If this scale was from 0 to 100, his weight would have looked a lot shorter. So it would have been something like this, which looks a lot less because my scale is larger. All right. So just kind of think about graphs, think about information on graphs, and always look at the scale. The axes are going to tell you everything you need to know about the graph. Now, what do I mean by the axes? Well, this is my y-axis, and this tells me John's weight in kilograms. So every number here is a kilogram. The x-axis, which is typically the time. I know if you guys ever do, or if you've done physics, x is in physics is usually the time. Here it's years, so 91 to 95. A long time ago. All right, so let's do some reading. Let's look at a couple questions. Then you guys do one, then halas. The graph above shows how John's weight varied from 91 to 95. The scale, and I already read all this, or I mentioned all this to you. The scale is vertical. The weight time is on the horizontal. So we can see John's weight was 68 kilograms in 91. in, let's say, let's go to the end, 73 kilograms in 1995. Examining the graph also tells us that John's weight increased during 91 and 92, stayed the same during 93, and then decreased in 94. Okay, so let's look at some questions. What was the difference in John's weight between 1995 and 1991? Now, I know you guys could do this, but I'll kind of write it down as well. So I'll get my pen here. So in 1995, he weighed 73. In 1991, he weighed 68. So 73 minus 68 is 5 kilograms. Always put your units in there too, guys, because if this was an American chart, it would say pounds. So put your units in there. Okay, when approximately did John weigh 72 kilograms? This is a good one. So I take my pen. 72 is right here. Let me pick a different color. So 72 is right here. Which means in between, or about halfway through 1992, he weighed 72 kilograms. So there's a few ways you could answer this. You could say halfway through 1992. You could say in between 1992 and 1993. It does say approximately. So what I'm going to say is halfway through 1992. Okay, you could, and actually you could even be more specific. If the year starts in January, then he was 72 probably around June or July, halfway. So you could even say that. All right. And guys, if you had a question like that on, say, like a test or something, there's so many answers I would take around 1992, as long as you didn't say something weird like 91 or after 1993, as long as your answer is somewhere between 92 and 93, I would be pretty happy. Okay. So let's look at another one. You guys are going to do 2 questions and then that's it. All right, number 8's a good one. So number 8 shows us the value of a car versus the mileage. So this is like kind of a true fact, I guess, that the price of a car will depreciate over time. It basically loses price the minute you drive it away. So you can see a pretty steep decrease at the beginning of this graph. And then based on the mileage, it would lose some more over time. So this is a graph of the car's value versus the mileage. Now, a couple things about this graph. The value is given in dollars, which I'm going to assume is US dollars. I mean, for me, if I was reading this in Canada, I'd probably say it was Canadian, but it's dollars. Make sure that you know it's not reals. And the other thing is that it's given in miles. So this is a very American chart. In Canada, we would use kilometers. In Qatar, Middle East, we would use, the rest of the world would use kilometers. I think the Americans and the UK, for some reason, likes to take miles. Anyways, so I'm going to ask you guys 2 questions. I'll keep it like this so you guys can kind of see. I want you to answer me 2 questions. A, what is the approximate value of the car after 70,000? Now, approximate, I know you guys don't have the biggest picture there in front of you. So approximate value for 70,000 miles. And what would be the approximate mileage when the car only costs $7,000? Okay, so I'll be back in 3, maybe 2 minutes. This is a really quick one, and then we're done. All right, I'm getting some good answers in there for the value of the car. Um, if try the mileage for 7,000, and then that'll be it. So just take another minute. I know it's hard to see. I wish I could like kind of zoom in a bit more. Maybe I can get rid of this. Yeah, maybe that makes it a little easier for you. So a couple, try B, and then that'll be it. I'll go through the answers, of course, and then that'll be it for today. All right. Okay. Let's look at the answers. Now, so this is the thing, I'm getting different answers, but this is the point. If you had a ruler and this was on a piece of paper and the scale was a little better, you could probably find a more, what we would call a precise or accurate answer. But the differences in the answers here are acceptable. So question A, 70,000 miles. Let me get my pen going here. So 70,000 is in the middle, obviously, of 60,000 and 80,000. So I'll just go up from here. Again, I don't have a ruler or anything. So your price is going to be between $4,000 and $6,000. And this is kind of where you can kind of estimate, it's going to be around $4,500. Now, again, if somebody said 5,000, if somebody said 43,000, this is fine. We can't really tell from the graph, but I would know about halfway between these two is 5,000. So it's a little less than 5,000. So, yeah, around about 45 would be kind of a pretty close approximation. Okay, so it says what would be the approximate mileage for $7,000? So again, I'm going to go over here in the middle and go down here. I should have picked a different color, but anyways, you get the idea. So again, this would be halfway would be 50,000. So this could be around, 47,000. Now, I'm looking at the answer key. The answer key says 49,000, but I think this is closer to 47,000. Again, though, it's all an approximation. It's not perfect. But remember, in the middle is 50,000, so it has to be less than 50,000. Yeah, that's it. That's how you read a line graph. Line graphs are maybe one of my favorites. Cool. So that's it. So tomorrow we'll do a little bit more of chapter 4. I'd like to get through graphs tomorrow, and then we can start review for your test. And again, this is a very short unit, so it won't take us more than three classes, maybe 4 classes. Yeah. All right, guys. Cool. So if you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, have a fantastic day.